what is going on? You know, I just got back from Florida Thursday afternoon, and I really haven't even had a chance to get all the totes of baits out of the truck since I got back. As you can see, the wall behind me is pretty empty. But, yeah, I had my last guide trip on Wednesday afternoon, and right after that trip, got some rest, got everything packed, locked, and loaded, and had to head back about 2 in the morning on Thursday to get up here to do the podcast Thursday evening. But anyway, had my last trip on Wednesday. I got down there. I didn't get a chance to do a lot of filming when I got there. I had 1 day of practice each on 2 different lakes. So I had 2 days of practice, 1 day on Istokpoga, 1 day on Lake June. Most all my trips went to Istokpoga once I started doing my guide trips. But anyway, didn't get a chance to do much filming. Before my last trip on Wednesday, I did have an opportunity to get on the lake 2 days before on that Monday to actually do a little bit of filming. For some reason, I have no clue why, the intro I done for the video either got lost or maybe through all the chaos of trying to get ready, get all the camera equipment set up and start fishing, I might have forgot to do the intro. But anyway, here we go. I'm not going to talk that long. We'll get right into the video. But anyway, the video is going to take us on Istokpoga. In the video, I'm going to show a little bit about, you know, when I get down there, I have 1 day of practice on Istokpoga before my guide trip starts. So I'm going to kind of show a little bit about what I look for when I have 1 day of practice, not being on the lake for a whole year. What I look for, how I find the fish I find, the bait selections I use, the type of cover I use, and why I do what I do when I go down there to be successful. But anyway, guys, we're going to get right into the video. I hope you enjoy it. Watch the video all the way through. It's going to show some real helpful hints on different things you might want to think about next time you hit Lake Istokpoga. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Tight lines, and we'll see you on the water. And remember, always live the passion.
Some rock in a sleepy little one-horse town. Living life, doing it right, God and country first. We bleed red, white, and blue, and all that we do while we're out here pushing this dirt. But at the end of the day, there's just 2 things that every good-hearted country boy wants, and he'll bust his ass from dusk till dawn, give everything he's got for hot girls and cold beer. Tell you what, first thing I noticed as soon as I pull up into this area, this is an area I found on my only day of practice on this lake before my guide trip started. I haven't been in this area in about 4 days. Looking back in here, keep in mind, we're going way back. We are way back off the outside edge of the lake. Being that the water right now is fairly up, we're still in about 3.5 foot of water under the boat light. Between when I was in here 4 days ago with the guide trip I might have, and that trip we caught 5 or 6 out of this area, and every one of them was around the 3 to 3.5 pound range before we left this. I don't know if we're going to catch them in here today or if we're not. But one thing I do notice, that is much different than the last time I was in here, which was only 4 days ago. And again, I don't know if you can see ahead of me, but 3/4 of the pads in front of us
is brown. Now, if you're a Florida fisher, fish Istokpoga and Okeechobee a lot, you know what the locals go through with fighting the Swimbait. Look at that again. What is the sense on spraying a frickin' lily pad field in 4 foot of water? Right now, pads continue to die out and turn brown and burn. It's going to start turning up the bottom where the root system goes into the bottom, into the bottom of the lake, and it's going to start making it muddy. It's going to start making it nasty. It's going to start turning up, floating up to the top. Eventually, this clean water in this pad field is going to be gross. All because, for some odd, strange reason, they had to come back in a pad field in 4 foot of water, in crystal clear 4 foot of water. A pad field that is doing nothing negative to the lake at all, and put poison in the water. Same poison that the fish have to swim around in and live in. I don't want to harp all day on this, but I just want to make a damn point. And as we get closer, you're going to be able to see better from that back camera. And look at the pads, how they're all just burned around. And again, 4 days ago, I was in here 4 days ago with a guide trip, catching, jacking goodens, jacking biggins. We didn't catch any giants that day, but we were catching 3s, 3.5. And now look at it. Every one of those green pads is frickin' toast. Just because the dumbasses with authority and money want to come in and spray the damn poison in our lakes. That's all I'm going to say about it, but it's frickin' insane, dude. Frickin' insane. There's no difference in somebody coming out and poisoning us and poisoning fish. How do you like that? As I'm talking, I catch a fish. But anyway, that is this fish here. I guarantee you, in a few days' time, this girl and everyone else that was in here is going to be gone. Just because of the dumb idiots that think they could come in and spray, poison our fish, poison our natural resources, just to kill off lily pads that's doing no harm to anything. 4 foot of water. Back in the very back of the lake. It's not hurting anybody, not hurting you, not hurting me, not hurting. It's not that they're out in the middle and they're interfering with our wakeboarders or skiers, like in a lot of other lakes. This is a daggum fishing lake. This is a hunting lake. This lake, you want the weeds, you want the vegetation. You don't go swimming in this lake. You go fishing in this lake. This is what you need to catch these pretty green fish out of. But anyway, all right, let's stop talking. I'm just gonna keep fishing. That's what we're coming to Istokpoga for right there, guys. Put her back.
Country first, we bleed red, white, and blue, and all that we do while we're out here pushing this dirt. But at the end of the day, there's just two things that every good-hearted country boy wants, and he'll bust his ass from dusk till dawn, give everything he's got for hot girls and cold beer. Nothing out there compares. Not an 8-foot buck from loaded up trucks, dirt roads or John Deere's, skinny dipping in a water hole, smallmouth bass on a fishing pole. All that's good for what I need right now, right here, is hot girls and cold beer.
I don't know if you've seen that. That was about a 4 or 5 pounder. I hate when that happens. I thought I had a good hook set on her too. She came out of the water once. That was bye-bye fishing. Yes. Well, you have to go. The trials and tribulations when you're fishing thick fat fields like this. Your fish catch to hook set ratio is definitely going to be lower, percentage wise, because of what you're fishing. I mean, yeah, she came up and pulled on it on the top. She had it. I set up and I had her coming too. And she came out of the water, went back down, and I just hook pulled. But of course, I seen her from a distance. She looked like she's probably about 4.5 pounds when she came out of the water. Of course, as fishermen, you know as well as I do, every fish you catch, when you see them off in the distance and they're like 4, 5, 6 pounds, they usually get smaller as they get closer. But that fish looks like she's every bit of 4. That sucks, but hey, it's all right. I'd love to get them in the boat for you on camera, but I'm still, even though we're filming, I'm still trying to find fish for Wednesday. So, let's get another bait on this thing and keep going. I'm just really happy, and again, I don't know how long this spot's gonna last, but I'm happy I'm still catching them in here today with as many pads that are browned over right now in here. So, and again, I don't know how long it's gonna last. I'm hoping it'll last through Wednesday, but I really don't want to bank on it, just because, you know, I know typically how long an area will hold up once you spray it. And usually it's not a long period of time before it's gonna get, everything that's in here is probably gonna leave the area. I am happy I got a couple bites in here so far. The only thing I will tell you is, I mean, when I first found it to my last trip I had, when I came in here, you know, typically I would have had 5 or 6 in the boat by now, which I've had 2 bites so far. So I could tell, I mean, knowing this area, but when I found it, I will tell you that what I see right now, the bites are fewer than I've been getting in here. Now, I'm assuming that's probably having to do with the spraying, but who knows? Never know.
Shorts dancing up on a bar.
Oh yeah, it's a boat. It's a spray boat. Driving a damn airboat, not a bass boat. But anyway. Starting to run out of real estate.
Years, hot girls and cold beer. Nothing out there compares. Not an 8-ball boat, muddy up trucks, dirt roads or John Deere's. Skinny dipping in a water hole. Smallmouth bass on a fishing pole. All that's good for what I need right now, right here. There's 2 things that a country boy holds dear. It's hot girls and cold beer. Hot girls and cold beer. Hot girls and cold beer.
Wind blowing is going right through me. Oh. Y'all didn't see that. Ray got caught, kicked back on me that time, and my rod about followed the bait out there. That's funny. Damn, it's getting cold with that wind blowing. Hey. I should have brought a jacket with me. I like cold weather. Cold weather sucks. As you can see this morning, we're throwing the super swimmer. Bruiser bait super swimmer. 2D. And I throw it on it's a hook designed for swim baits. Has a 1/4 ounce weight in the belly of the hook. That 1/4 ounce weight gives it just enough weight. You know, the pads we're fishing is thicker pads. You want it to be able to drop down and get down below the main part of the pad to kind of follow the stems so it stays in the water. So you need that little bit heavier weight on the belly of the hook. But that weight in the belly of the hook also, it allows it to help that bait swim true versus one to twist on you. It keeps it swimming upright like that. Of course, a centering pin screw in for the head of the bait. Screw it in, hook it. I run the hook all the way out the back, and then I'll come and skin hook the point, so it won't catch on anything. The only thing we're doing that is every once in a while it's going to pull out, and you're going to have to skin hook it. You will go through more baits that way because they'll rip up easier because the hook is completely out, and you're just skin hooking the point, so the hook's going to come out on more of a frequent basis. But if it comes out in the pads real easy, chances are it's going to come out in the fish real easy, and that's what you want. You know, I'd rather hook a lot more pads by skin hooking the point and have a heck of a lot better chance on that hook penetrating the fish than having the bait or the hook buried in the bait, and you're not hooking near the pads. You're going to be hooking on during the course of a day, but you're going to have a harder. You really have to have a very good, spot-on, hard hook set to be able to pierce that fish if the hook's buried in the bait. So it's better to hook some pads and knowing you're going to hook the fish. Going to go through more baits that way, but I have a theory that I use and I live by. We're not in the business to save bait. We're in the business to catch fish. So if it means going through a lot more baits in the course of a day to catch the fish you need to catch, hey, that's what we're here to do. We're here to catch fish, not save bait. So let's go try to catch some more. A quick update on the morning. We caught one, set the hook on another one. She was probably bigger than the first one that we actually put in the boat. From the distance, when she came out of the water, she looked 4.5 pounds. We're fishing an area that I found in practice prior to my guide trip starting. I've had 4 out of my, I don't even know how many guide trips I've had on Istokpoga here since I got here, probably 7, 8 maybe, I don't know. But 4 of them I brought back in this area here, and we caught a lot of fish each time. The average fish we're catching out here is 3.5 pounds. We did catch a few 5s and 1 6 out of here. We did actually happen in, I never like to talk about fish loss, but with me being a guide, a lot of my clients, you never can tell the hook set your clients are going to have, especially fishing artificial bait. It's not like dropping a bobber overboard with a shine and just waiting for it to go under and having to pull back on it. So depending on the skill level the clients I have with me, but we did have a couple clients, and I'm not going to only put it on my clients. I actually lost a few in here and other areas as well. That hurt. Freaking giants that came out. I was seeing every one of them. We just came unbuttoned, so that's on me. But we did have some clients too that had some freaking giants on that came out of the water. They just came unbuttoned. Either wasn't a good hook set or just is what it is. Wasn't hooked good in the fish or whatever. Stuff happens. And when you're fishing this thick pads like this here, I would give it about a 50% ratio of fish catch to hook set, or hook set to fish catch. Your odds are always gonna get lowered or decrease a great deal when you're fishing these thick pads. You're setting a hook on some big fish in almost like a jungle out there. Usually the fish, when you set the hook or when you eat the bait, they're at least 20, 25, in some cases 30, 35, 40 feet from the boat when they eat the bait. So you're setting a hook on them, having to get them up to the top. The key is getting them up to the top where they're on the top. And if you could get them coming across the top of the pads, usually don't stop. You usually get them over the top of it and keep them coming no matter how big the fish are. We're fishing 65-pound braid, so you never have an issue with your line. Get them up quick. If you can get them up, get them coming, keep them coming. The minute you hesitate, they get down in there, they're going to get lodged in around them. then you have to go in with the trolling motor and get them. Never try to horse them out. When they do get lodged in the pad, biggest mistake I see people making is they try to start yanking them and horsing them, trying to horse them to the boat and yanking them out of the pad's the worst thing you could do, because what you end up doing, you end up ripping the hook out, especially if you have a skin hooked. If you get a good hook set and she gets lodged in the pads, keep your line tight. Just keep a little bit of a taut on your line. We'll go in after her with the trolling motor. Usually if you have a pretty good hook set, as long as you keep her in there, keep the line tight, and they typically won't come off as long as you have the good hook set. Now, I'm not saying they won't always come off, a little shake of the head here, shake of the head there, and they could throw it. You never know how good you have them hooked until you get them in the boat. Yeah, get them up on the top, keep them coming. If you get them on the top, get them coming, don't stop. If they do get lodged in there, don't try to horse them. We'll go in after them with the trolling motor. Just keep a taut line. If you get a good hook set on that fish, typically she's not going to come off. When they do come off is when you try to start horsing them to the boat once they get below the pads and get lodged in there.
Kick up the dust, work until it goes back down. Punch that clock, pound us some rock in a sleepy little one-horse town. Living life, doing it right, God and country first. We bleed red, white, and blue, and all that we do while we're out here pushing this dirt. But at the end of the day, there's just two things that every good-hearted country boy wants, and he'll bust his ass from dusk till dawn, give everything he's got for hot girls and cold beer. Nothing out there compares. Not an 8-month buck from loaded up trucks, dirt roads or John Deere's. Skinny dipping in a water hole, smallmouth bass on a fishing pole. All that's good for what I need right now, right here, is hot girls and cold beer. Yeah, there's nothing like a blue-eyed Daisy Duke wearing tight shorts, dancing up on a bar, slowly sipping down an ice cold natty light, putting the hurting on my heart. Every guy will testify all the good times that they've had. We'll thank the good Lord with every prayer, 'cause life ain't all that bad with hot girls and cold beer.
I like how easy that hook just popped out of there. That, guys. That, guys, is literally what you call fishing in the jungle. Alright, but as you can see, that is what we do. And a little bit later in this video, I'm going to kind of explain to you guys why I'm fishing and why I'm targeting what I'm targeting when I come down here. Once, this time of year, I'm here for 3 weeks to go. Why I target what I target when I come down this time of the year. But we'll get into that a little bit later in the video. But isn't that a pretty fish? Take a picture of her and get her back in. I got a dress here. Look, there's a road. Except with all the lines there. I'm gonna back her asses out of here. Without knowing. I don't want to go too much into the juice. Can't get out of here. See how many fish we can move as we're getting out of here. Oh. Don't fall out in one. And this lake in Lake Okeechobee, if you ever do happen to back in quick. Because it's not what you can see, it's what you can't see that you gotta be worried about if you ever go out. I've been fortunate. As many years as I've been doing this, I'm this lake and Lake Istokpoga, I've never once went overboard. Knock on wood. I know somebody that went overboard for a fish catching in FOW tour and get buddy on Brandon McMillan. Brandon's our guest on the podcast. He's talking about that insane FOW. Day 3 of the FOW tour is on open. Tell you too much about that. You gotta make sure to go to our podcast and check it out. The most insane fish catch you ever want to see. Right now, right here, is hot girls and cold beer. Yeah, there's nothing like a blue-eyed daisy dude wearing tight shorts, dancing up on a bar, slowly sipping down an ice cold natty light, putting the hurting on my heart. Every guy will testify all the good times that they've had. We'll thank the good Lord with every prayer, 'cause life ain't all that bad. With hot girls and cold beer, nothing out there compares. Trucks, dirt roads, or John Deere's, skinny dipping in a water hole, smallmouth bass on a fishing pole, all that's good. It's hot girls and cold beer, nothing out there compares. Not an 8-point buck, muddied up trucks, dirt roads, or John Deere's. Hot girls and cold beer, nothing out there compares. Not an 8-point buck, muddied up trucks, dirt roads, or John Deere's. Skinny dipping in a water hole, smallmouth bass on a fishing pole. All that's good for what I need right now, right here. There's two things that a country boy holds dear. It's hot girls and cold beer. Man, stirred up the bugs. Some rock in a sleepy little one-horse town. Living life, doing it right, God and country first. We bleed red, white, and blue, and all that we do while we're out here pushing this dirt. Alright guys, this time of the year, fishing what we're fishing here, tell you what, here's the thing, if you don't have these super swimmers by Bruiser Bait in your boat, you need to get some. You need to keep them in your boat. You know, go to www.bruiserbaits.com. And when you do that, make sure you use the discount code DeckTalk10. Use discount code DeckTalk10 at checkout when ordering these Bruiser Bait super swimmers or anything else on the website for that matter. You know, you'll get instant savings at checkout. So make sure to use that discount code. But guys, you gotta get some of these. That's a ticket. This time of the year, you know, these baits will work all year round, but this time of the year especially.
Every guy will testify all the good times that they've had. We'll thank the good Lord with every prayer, 'cause life ain't all that bad. With hot girls and cold beer, nothing out there compares. Not an 8-point boat, the loaded up trucks, dirt roads or John Deere's. Skinny dipping in a water hole, smallmouth bass on a fishing pole. All that's good for what I need right now, right here. All that's good for what I need right now, right here. It's hot girls and cold beer. Nothing out there compares. Not an 8-point buck, bucket up trucks, dirt roads or John Deere's. Hot girls and cold beer.
That fish hit like a cat shot in the ass. Absolutely no reaction time. Fish hit like I was burning a spinnerbait. Boom! Holy heck! I really don't think it was that big. It hit like it was about 12 pounds. But it hit me so fast and so hard. I really don't think it was that. I mean, that's probably about the same size we've been catching, but all I know is that sucker hit like I was burning a spinnerbait through there. I just pulled the rod back in self-defense on that one. It's like, holy cow. There's no giving that one 2 seconds. If I didn't have a good grip on the rod, my rod would have went with that fish. She hit it so freaking hard she bent the damn spring. Damn. Dang, mama. Don't these fish know they're not supposed to make me look that bad? I do a good enough job of that on my own. Die. Fish had a good laugh. Let's see who has the last laugh though.
This dirt. But at the end of the day, there's just two things that every good-hearted country boy wants, and he'll bust his ass from dusk till dawn, give everything he's got for hot girls and cold beer. Nothing out there compares. Not an 8-point buck, the loaded up trucks, dirt roads or John Deere's. Skinny dipping in a water hole, smallmouth bass on a fishing pole. All that's good for what I need right now, right here, is hot girls and cold beer.
Alright guys and girls, that's about a wrap for today's video. We're actually, the area we're in now, we're actually leaving the fish when they're still biting. But it's right at about 12 o'clock noon. So I'm going to go home and or go to the place I'm staying. A big shout out to my brother-in-law for allowing me and the wife to have a place to stay while I come down here. But anyway, real quick before we end this video, let's talk about some of the baits that I'm using. And these baits, although they're an all year round bait, this year, this time of the year, okay, what we have going on right now is, as you can see in the video, most, or I don't want to say even, not even most, every area that I'm fishing is pushed way back in. In some cases, I'm within casting distance of the hard shore, and everything is in the pads now, or the bonnet, spatterdock, whatever you want to call them. They're pad family, but they're hyacinth pads or bonnets, spatterdock. But anyway, it kind of goes out of the realm of what a lot of people think, Istokpoga fishing this time of the year, the December, January, February, March. But let me tell you something, guys. Keep in mind, when the water level is up, when it's high like it is right now, and you got quite a bit of water way back inside the outside edge, then big females this time of the year, they'll push all the way back in. But what you got to think about is I only have one day when I come down here to practice before my guide trips start on each lake. When I get on Istokpoga, I'm looking for a couple different things. One thing I'm looking for is what's off the beaten path that most all, and it's kind of funny for me to say locals because I still consider myself a local. You know what, I'll always consider myself a Lake Placid boy. This is my hometown. It's always going to be my hometown. I don't care how long I live in Tennessee. I grew up here. I was born. I was raised here. I grew up fishing these lakes. I got it on these lakes for 18 years. So this is my home. But granted, I'm only on these lakes now once, sometimes twice a year. So what I'll do is when I come down, first thing I do is I'll look for places that a lot of the locals aren't fishing. And here's the thing I see, being from this area for, I don't know what, 51, 52 years, and growing up fishing these lakes, I could relate because I used to do it myself. But when I get down here, I'm watching all the locals, and everybody I see fishing, it has a rod in their hand and they're doing this. They're flipping the edges, they're throwing the big baits, the big worms, and they're doing this. And every one of them is on the outside edge. When you fish a body of water like Lake Istokpoga and you're on it once a week, or back when I was guiding here full time, I was on it every day. But you fish tournaments once a month, you're on it every week. It's so easy to hit the lake with this, with blinders on. And what a lot of locals is doing, and if you're watching this and you're a local, keep this in mind. Take them blinders off. It's so easy to go flip an edge, flip a shore, flip an outside edge, and that's common nature. What most of the guys that fish this lake 24/7 do is they'll pick a good thick edge in deeper water and they'll start flipping the outside edge. If they have a good day, they have a good day. If they don't, well, they get back to the boat room. The fish aren't biting. The fish just weren't cooperating that day. Let me tell you something. Fish are always going to cooperate somewhere on the lake. If it's not happening on the outside edge, flipping the big baits, do something else. Try to widen your horizon on a lake like Lake Istokpoga. The fish are going to be eating somewhere on the lake. They're going to be hitting baits somewhere on the lake. So if it's not happening on that outside edge, taking and doing this with the big baits, with the big rod, start looking. Push yourself all the way as far back as the boat will float. Pick up something you could slow roll and start covering water, start fishing. Keep in mind, when I get down here, I have one day to figure this lake out and find. I generally try to find 3 areas that are going to produce numbers as well as big fish. That's what I'm looking for, because I don't have a lot of time to find them. So I'm looking for 3 areas that I could come back to for 2 or 3 weeks in a row, that I'm going to be able to produce numbers, and I'm going to be able to produce big ones out of the same area. Alright, my baits. Real simple. Not rocket science. Super Swimmer by Bruiser Bait, and the Swimmer Slimmer by Bruiser Bait. Alright, this here is your Super Swimmer. I use the Houdini. The way I rig it is rig it with a offset, or not offset, but a wide gap hook with a centering pin screw in for the nose of the bait, and fishing this thicker cover like these lily pads we fish here. I'm using a 1/4 ounce weight in the belly of the hook. That does 2 things. When you're fishing these thick pads, the idea is you don't want to pull it across the top of them. You want it to go down. So this weight is heavy enough, it allows it to go down to the stalks. And that's another thing. As you see me fishing, I'm holding my rod tip down. I'm not holding it up, it's holding down. I'm almost holding the tip almost even with where the line's going, with a little bit of an angle. You don't want to hold it straight with the line, because if one hits you quick, she's not going to have any load up room, and she'll pull off immediately. But with that being said, what that does for you is you're holding your rod down. First of all, is allowing that bait to keep below the pad level. The other thing is, as you're slow rolling it through the pads, I can pretty much slow roll for hours and hours through these thick pads without getting it hung once. The way that's happening is, when I do happen to feel it get load up on a V of the pad, or load up on the pad itself, basically it's just one crank hard with the handle. At the same time, you want to pop it with your wrist, so you're almost straight with the line when you do that, so you have no bow. And the biggest mistake I see a lot of people making when they try to get it free from pads, that's why they get hung up in the pads, is first thing they do when they feel it caught is they start doing this, trying to get all you're doing with that is, with the bow of that rod, spring loading that rod is burying that hook. If you can hold straight with the line, remember, braided line has no stretch, so if you can put the rod almost straight with that line, pop with your wrist and one turn with the handle. Another thing that's going to do, if you are able to break it free doing this with that catapult and that bow of that rod, it's gonna jerk that bait back 5-10 feet from where it's hung. As you're slow rolling, feel it get lodged, quick turn of the handle and pop. Quick turn of the handle, pop. What that's going to do, that's going to continue the process of that bait swimming. It's not going to pull it away from where it's hung. It's going to dart it out. A lot of times, if there's a fish in the area and it gets hung up on that pad, all of a sudden gets hung up, you quick turn of the handle and pop, it's going to dart it free. That fish is going to explode on it when it does that, because it's going to react to that bait getting lodged. All of a sudden it comes to a stop, you quick jerk, pop it free, that fish will unload on it. So it does a couple different things doing that. But anyway, alright, let's get to my other key bait. Alright, and I mainly went to this bait when, typically the mornings we had nice light breezes. There's 4 or 5 trips where it actually started cranking, the wind did, by the afternoon hours. One day, pretty much all day, we had like 30-mile-an-hour winds on the main lake. And I don't care how far pushed back you are, when you got that strong of breeze blowing on the main lake, you're gonna get surface noise, you're gonna get surface ripple pushed all the way back in here. So what I would do in that case, when the wind started blowing, I would throw the Super Swimmer on that hook we just showed you when it was lighter conditions. Once the wind started blowing, you got surface noise, you got a lot of wind noise on the water pushed all the way back in here. Go to the Slimmer Swimmer, again, Bruiser Bait, and I throw it on the cruiser hook. Now the cruiser hook has a tungsten weight in the belly of the hook, okay? But it has an underspin blade underneath it. Alright, They make them, or actually, I have two size hooks. I keep a 5-aught hook and a 4-aught hook. 4-aught hook I use for the slimmer swimmer. If I happen to throw the super swimmer on it, I'll be throwing a 5-aught. But anyway, that is the ticket when it's starting to blow back in these pads. And again, you can work it just like you work the super swimmer on the regular hook. It's not going to get hung. If you feel it starting to load up a little bit, one quick turn to the handle and pop. Quick turn to the handle, pop. It's going to come free. You're going to be able to work that bait from where it lands in the water to the boat all the time. No hang-ups. And trust me, the fish will eat it. Now, when the fish eat this bait versus that bait, throwing it on a regular hook, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, almost like a topwater, 95% of your bites you're going to see with the super swimmer on that regular hook because it's closer to the surface. Whether you're going to see the explosion on the top, which happens a lot of times, or you're going to see a fish roll up over it if it's like 4, 5, 6 inches below the surface going through the pads, you're still going to see the fish roll up over the bait and eat it. It's human nature to react on instinct. That's one thing you got to break yourself. Just like topwater fishing, when you see the explosion, you got to train yourself not to pull back as soon as you see that explosion. It's hard to do. You got to train yourself as a fisherman, as an angler, to do that. You want to, once you either see the boil up on it or you see the crush on the surface, give it 2 seconds. Wait 2 seconds and then pull back, set up hard, heavy, get them to the top. Once you get them on the surface, as long as you get them up and they're going to come over the top of the pads, you can bring them. Once they get lodged, never try to horse them. Worst thing people do is they try to horse it out. Once it gets lodged up, all you're going to do is rip the hook out of the fish. Go do it. That's what you got 80, 112-pound trolling motors for. Go to them if you need to. Alright, same thing with this. The only difference on the bite with this is the majority of the bites you're going to have on the cruiser hook is almost going to be almost like a spinnerbait type of bite. Usually it's not going to give you a lot of time to give a pause with this. It's almost like they're going to load up on it before you actually have time to pause and set the hook like the regular hook. So this is going to be more like a spinnerbait bite where they'll just load up on it. When they load up on it, you pull back on them. Where the other one's going to give you a little bit of time because you're actually going to see it almost like a topwater bite 95% of the time with that bait. Wait 2 seconds, pull back, hot and heavy. But anyway, guys, that's about it. We're going to head back to the house. I'm going to grab me a sandwich. I got my last trip this coming Wednesday. And looking forward to it. My last trip's actually a really good friend, an old friend of mine that I like to say I knew him all my life, but he knew me all my life because he knew me when I was born. He's a good friend of the family. His mom and dad were a good friend of my mom and dad. So that's my last trip of the year. Heading back right after that. Don't forget, every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss us, the Deck Talk Podcast. We have a new guest every week. We have some hot and heavy hammers coming up as our guests here within the next couple months. And also, don't forget, check out our website at decktalkpodcast.com. You'll find out all the latest news information, our schedule of events we're going to be at, our podcasting schedule, including our guest lineup on there, as well as you'll have easy access to all of our partners and sponsors, along with our discount code DECKTALK10 for each of our partners and sponsors. When you order the products, you go right to their link off of our website. Makes it quick and easy, as well as audio version of the podcast right from our website on all the major podcasting platforms. So guys, we're going to call it at that, and we're going to head back and kind of rest for the rest of the afternoon, regroup, and get back out here on Wednesday, and then get back to Tennessee. And so anyway, guys, appreciate y'all, and had a great time down here in Lake Placid. I always do. And looking forward to getting back here in July after ICAST. So, guys, see ya. Tight lines. And remember, always live the passion.